Now with the Carter File, more this evening on last night's service at the Basilica. Glenn?
Well, thank you, Lynn. There were tears and prayers last night for the 18 victims of the Cougar helicopter crash. The Basilica in St. John's, the gathering place for hundreds of people who needed to understand and to grieve and to support the families who are grieving tonight. It was an ecumenical service that reached out to the entire province and the country. The memorial service reached out to the families of the crash victims and to the industry where they worked.
We acknowledge all those also joining us on television, and especially those at the offshore on the oil platforms who are joining us this evening.
Tragedy.
The historic Basilica, full to capacity, its balconies, its staircases, as the community gathered to remember and to offer support to the grief-stricken families.
Thank you for coming tonight. It means so much to them. And to those of us who were their helpers, the chaplains, the counselors, the Red Cross, the representatives from the companies, the parish ministers and priests, and everyone who reached out.
The ecumenical service was only days in the planning, an effort that brought together churches from across the region, comforting words from the Christian and the non-Christian.
As your brothers and sisters in humanity, sharing the same homeland, we feel for you. We are saddened by your loss, and we offer our support so that you can get through this difficult time.
And many hundreds and even thousands have succumbed to the force of the winds, the storms, and the waters over the years. And we have been sadly reminded of that again this past week.
Teach us to use all of our days, O God, that we may attain a heart of wisdom. Grant us of your love in the morning, that we may joyously sing all our days.
The service was attended by the province's political leaders and the country's. Prime Minister Stephen Harper attended. Lieutenant Governor John Crosby. Archbishop Martin Curry said the tragedy has cast us all into darkness and disbelief, left us all wondering why.
Then little by little, the darkness deepens. Our minds are thrown into confusion. Our bodies become numb. We feel emotions we never knew we had. And we shake our head and say to ourselves, yes, they're gone.
And anyone who was there last night or took part in that ecumenical service will understand just how an emotional a night it was, capping what has been a very emotional 7 days. Fred, back to you.
Thank you, Glenn. NTV's Glenn Carter reporting live for us this evening. Well, the outpouring of support continued today near the Cougar Helicopters office in St. John's. Here's NTV's Darren Bent now with that story.
It was a different type of tribute. One pink balloon in the memory of Allison Marr. 16 blue balloons in the memory of the men who lost their lives in the crash of Flight 491.
It's sad. It leaves empty space in our hearts for everybody. So we just wanted to come here and put up 17 balloons and a teddy bear for Mr. Decker from my little girl Morgan.
This family came to the Cougar Helicopters fence that is now a temporary memorial to those who lost their lives a week ago today. They came to send off the balloons, and young Morgan Escott brought a bear for the crash survivor.
Mr. Decker.
Who's the teddy bear for?
Robert Decker.
Robert Decker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get well soon. Get well soon.
I hope as I leave this blue teddy bear for you that you will get better soon. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the families. God bless your little friend Morgan.
Lisa Sharp says they wanted to do something. She says she has friends who work offshore.
And actually there's a guy leaving today to go out on offshore. And it's really hard to think about them going back to what's after happening.
As a Cougar helicopter idled on the launch pad, the balloons were released into the air. People continued to arrive all day, bringing flowers and letters of condolences. Each night, after it seems the last of the flowers and condolences have been placed on the fence for that day, workers at Cougar helicopters come out to make sure that they're properly fastened so that they will be there for others to see the next day. In St. John's, Darren Bent, NTV News.
Well, police and fire officials are concerned over the large number of fires this past